5 budget wide receivers worth drafting in your 2025 fantasy football league. Starting out with wide receivers 36 and down the line, at wide receiver 36 right now is Calvin Ridley, and he is a very, very good budget playing in Tennessee. We have seen the young man post 2,000-yard seasons in a row, one with Jacksonville and one with the Titans, but it's gone quietly. And in the second half of last season, we really saw Calvin Ridley take off for the Titans. From weeks 8 through 18, averaging 76 yards, 14.2 PPR points, and 7.6 targets. Very, very strong player. And remember, there is not a strong wide receiver room in Tennessee, so Ridley could continue to see even more targets. And the better news, Cam Ward at quarterback. It's an amazing potential upgrade from the days of Will Levis and Mason Rudolph. So yes, Calvin Ridley's had one somewhat elite season a while ago back in Atlanta, 2 good seasons recently. This could be his second best season of his career. You want to buy in on that while you can. Also, now we're going to go to Josh Downs of the Indianapolis Colts. His ADP has risen a bit throughout the preseason, but he's still coming in on average of wide receiver 46. Josh Downs was good as a rookie, but last year played 14 games, still put up 803 yards and 5 touchdowns, and that was with terrible quarterback play in Indianapolis. If we have learned one thing about Josh Downs through 2 years in the NFL, the man is quarterback proof because he's seen it as bad as it gets. And guess what? It's not getting any worse this year. Might get Anthony Richardson, might get Daniel Jones, but Josh Downs, he is the constant in that offense. And he is the one player that has a role that's not going away. 79th percentile yards after the catch last year, mostly playing out of the slot. Josh Downs typically plays about 75% of the snaps, not as many as we like, but enough to get it done. Downs had double-digit PPR points in 9 of 14 games. Like I said, get Josh Downs on your roster at that cheap price, and he will make you smile when you set your lineup each week. If you're enjoying this breakdown, take a second to hit like and subscribe. It helps us keep the fantasy advice coming. If you want even more of RotoWire's tools, rankings, and insights, we got a 15% discount just for our YouTube viewers. Head to RotoWire.com, you choose your subscription, and you use the code YouTube15 at checkout. All right, Keon Coleman is another player. He's a budget that we think you should be drafting. Keon Coleman, his ADP has crept up all offseason, but he's still coming in right now around wide receiver 51. Now, his rookie year, not great. 556 yards, 4 touchdowns. But here's what you need to know about Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman started to come on in week 4 through week 8, averaging just 3 catches, but 64 yards, 0.4 of a touchdown. Big factor in the red zone. He did have a long touchdown as well. Averaged 5.2 targets. Well, what happened? Keon Coleman chipped a bone in his wrist, missed time, and was never part of the offense upon his return. Well, guess what? Keon Coleman is back, and outside receivers need to step up for Josh Allen. And Keon Coleman is the one who is set to do that. Should be a full go as we get into the beginning of the season. I expect Coleman to be the outside go-to receiver for Allen. Also, big-time contributor in the red zone. Keon Coleman is going to smash that ADP. Next, go down even deeper. Cedric Tillman of the Cleveland Browns. Now, Cedric Tillman, ADP about wide receiver 62, but if you're in a really sharp league, I've seen people snatch him in the 9th round of 12-team leagues, the 10th round. So if he really is your guy, you might have to reach up in a sharper league, but if you're in a casual league, think you can wait and take him a little bit later. Here's what you need to know about Cedric Tillman. 3rd round pick a couple of years ago of the Browns. Last year, he was on the bench. Amari Cooper was a starter, but then Amari Cooper got traded. And in week 7, Cedric Tillman took over the starting outside job, averaging 7 catches, 85 yards and a touchdown in 3 starts. He had one other start before suffering a season-ending concussion. So the young man will be healthy this year, back on the field, full-time outside receiver, played in Cleveland, so it wasn't good quarterback play last year. So guess what? Probably not getting worse this year. Tillman can win downfield. He can get yards after the catch. Very, very solid player. There will be opportunity. Cleveland defense, much as I would like it to be a thing, those corners have dropped off a bit. They're going to have to score some points, and Cedric Tillman is going to be part of that solution. Finally, Wan'Dale Robinson, another budget player. His ADP has crept up all offseason too, but he's still averaging wide receiver 64. Wan'Dale Robinson's had 140 targets last year, had 8 targets or more in 11 games. The yardage wasn't great, 699 yards, but 93 catches. If you are in a PPR league, those catches are money. He's a flex play. Has a little bit of upside possibly, but yes, Wan'Dale Robinson is a player that you definitely want on your roster. He will continue to be the slot receiver, and he will be heavily used.